The Vivo series of digital pianos from Dexibel come with 79 great sounds and some room in the sample memory to expand that sound repertoire using sounds downloaded from the internet in the sound font format. Dexibel provides quite a few of these on their website at no additional charge, and there are other websites all around the internet where you can find sounds in the sound font format. So you can really kind of customize the sounds in this instrument to your own tastes. Stepping through the sounds is really simple. I like the fact that I was able to figure it out without having to crack the manual. You simply use these light-colored function keys to step ahead through various sounds or to step back through those sounds. The up and down functions have the same functionality that the side-to-side buttons do. I can step through and forward and back through the sound list. I can also quickly jump to different categories of sounds using these 6 buttons down here. So by selecting the classic button, I can go through and rapidly move through the classic pianos that are here. By selecting E piano, I can now jump directly to the electric piano list of sounds. There are also organ sounds, ensemble sounds, and additional sounds, and this is where you would find your own user sounds that you might have added. You can easily jump back to grand piano mode at any time by pushing these 2 buttons right here. Beneath the sound navigation control buttons are metronome buttons and tempo buttons, our song recorder buttons, and a key which allows us to easily move the keyboard and transpose it up or down by half steps, up to 12 half steps up or 12 half steps down. We can also split or layer the keyboard using these controls here. We'll take a little time to show you those functions in just a little bit. But now, let's step back to grand piano mode so I can show you some of the great sounds included in this instrument. The Vivo Grand is the first sound we encounter, and if you're just looking for acoustic piano sounds, it might be the only sound you ever need. The bass is rich and lush. The high end sparkles just like you'd like it to, and the mid-range is very full sounding. It's very expressive. The timbre changes just the way you'd expect it to and would like it to as you play a little bit harder and dig in a little bit more. It's a really great piano, well balanced, works equally well for pop and classical repertoire. Speaking of pop music, Dexibel have also included a pop grand. Has a nice bright sound to it. Great for pop music. Also an electric grand sound, which might sound familiar to you. Heard on lots and lots of different pop recordings. We're also given a rock piano sound for a brighter poppy sound. And a cool honky-tonk piano. What's cool about all these sounds, as I said before, is that Dexibel didn't manipulate the sound of an acoustic piano that was perfectly tuned. They had their tuner come in and knock these instruments a little bit out of tune so that we could have that honky-tonk sound authentically, not created artificially. We have a classic grand, which is great for more classical repertoire, a little bit darker sound. It's very nice. The romantic grand sample is a sample of a Play-El piano, the same exact kind of piano Chopin might have played. Really cool, beautiful, dark sound. We were also given an upright sound. Very expressive, very nice. And a ragtime piano sound. Good tack piano sounds, pretty cool stuff. In addition to that, we're provided with some harpsichord presets tuned to 8-foot. And tuned to 4-foot. and, happily enough, coupled. Those of you with fine-tuned ears will also notice the difference in the tuning here. The Dexibel Vivo series provides us with a great selection of historic temperaments, so it's a really, really nice thing if you're looking for something that's like that, something that gives us an ability to have historic tunings. We're also provided with a beautiful selection of electric piano sounds, including nice Rhodes sound, really nice growl in the bottom end. They really did a good job of getting the attack just right. We also have our suitcase type Rhodes. Has just enough of that distortion to make it sound really authentic and really, really cool. We're also provided with a great selection of effects in here. For example, here's that same sound again with a little bit of phaser. Of course, you can customize all of those kinds of things. We have a great Wurlitzer sound. As well as a nice FM sounding piano. And a couple other nice sounding types of pianos here. So lots of really cool things. We also have some kind of cool organ sounds here. Really cool things. So great opportunity to use this instrument in worship type settings. Something I haven't mentioned yet that's a really cool feature of this instrument is that as we switch sounds from one sound to the next, the instrument doesn't cut out. So for example, I could start with that principal sound that I began with. While I'm holding this, either with my fingers or with the sustain pedal, I can switch to another sound. Just like this. And that first sound doesn't cut out. In fact, I can switch multiple times, and the sounds that are sustaining from a previous patch will not cut out. This is a really, really cool feature for those of us who perform live, and we don't want our sound to go away just because we happen to be switching. We're also given a pop organ sound, a jazz organ sound, and even blues. Get that nice Hammond Leslie speaker sound. It's really, really cool. In addition to these sounds, I'm not going to take time to show every single sound. There are some great demos on the internet if you want. We have some good accompanying type string sounds. And all of these sounds work beautifully when you layer them with the piano sounds, as we'll talk about later. In addition to these kinds of orchestral sounds, we're also given some really, really nice pad type sounds. This is their synth string sounds. They also have a nice 80s string sound, which is cool. and some choir sounds to boot. It's cool stuff. We're also given a series of pads, which are great. Nice warm pad here. Dark pad. And a soft pad. So really nice options here. We also have a brass ensemble, some brass section, even synth brass. Stuff like this. We're also given an option to have some mallet percussion instruments, vibraphone, xylophone, and even marimba. Celeste. And harp. We also have some clavinet sounds for use in funk music. And of course some with that cool auto wah on it. Even funky clavs. Cool stuff like this. There's also a selection of guitars in here. Steel guitar. And jazz guitar. Even overdrive. What instrument would be complete without Eric Persing's famous Fantasy Bell sound? What I find really cool about this instrument is that all of the samples here are very expressive and very playable. Even when they're sounds which are clearly designed to be layered with other sounds, they still work great on their own. There's high quality throughout all of the sounds here. There's also a selection of bass guitars, in this case an upright bass, fingered bass, picked bass, acoustic bass and ride cymbal, even synth bass. Then we have any additional sounds that you have imported using a flash drive. In order to import sounds into your Dexibel Vivo series piano, you simply go on the internet, find sounds which are saved in the sound font format, save them to a flash drive, and then the flash drive connects right below the front of the instrument here on the right-hand side to a USB jack, which is dedicated to using a flash drive. Once you have loaded the sounds in, which is a couple button presses, then you have the sounds available. This sound is called Urban Harp. Sound that came from the Dexibel website. Great sound. All right, So that's an overview of some of the sounds in the Dexibel Vivo series. In the next part of our video, I want to show you some of the features that pertain to layering, splitting the keyboard, and dividing it for use in two separate instruments.